Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wassir li amri uqtada min lisani yafqahu qawli. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Jummah Mubarak. It's going to be a bit of a long video, and I hope you can all watch it till the end. So, quite a few things just to outline what we're going to discuss. So, number one, we're going to discuss whether was it a true and fair election, number one. Number two, should there be an election in the first place? Why are we ready for the election? Number three, what choices do we have now as pro-July movement for Bangladesh? What option do we have? So I'll quickly highlight it now, what three options we have, and then later on in the video I will dive into each one of them. So option one is, of course, we just revolt. We shut down the government machinery. Very possible, not difficult at all to do. That's option number one. Option number two is give the government enough rope so that it can hang itself. Yeah, that's so incompetent that they will just fall for it anyway. So that's option two. And option three is a middle path. We are all patriots, and also we all work for the pleasure of Allah, right? So you don't want to really choose an option just because you're emotional, you're angry. You choose a short path. Yeah, even if evil is evil, if you lose your goodness facing the evil, then what's the difference between you and the evil, right? So that's why I think middle path perhaps is the best way. And what is that middle path again? We can explore that in more details. So first, let's just start with the first one. Was it a fair election? Oh hell no! It was no election in the darkness of night like the way the Butcher of Bengal did, yeah. But it was election carried out by gangsters, the mafia, the bank robbers, and by intimidation, by terrorism. That's what it is. Okay, it was rigged. The election was rigged. Now, the question is, to what extent was it rigged? Was it rigged enough to marginally claim the victory, or was it completely rigged? I think the latter is true. I think it was rigged in the marginal basis, right? Marginal constituencies, yeah. That's where I think the rigging has happened. So it was not a fair election, and I can go into one by one each evidence, and there's thousands. As I said, I have watched maybe over 100 videos with solid evidence what has gone on, right? But all I'll ask you to do, I'll just highlight it, the key areas. I think all of us have concluded, yeah, how they have done it and what's the forces behind it. We were talking about it before the election, and we've just proven to be right. Okay, so I'll just show you just two videos for now, so you can just watch them, and then this is like a short summary of thousands of other incidents like that has happened throughout the country. Yeah, thousands.
বিএনপির লোকাল লিডাররা মানুষকে ঘরে ঘরে গিয়ে ভয় দেখিয়েছে। বিএনপির লোকাল লিডাররা রাতে গিয়ে টাকা বিলি করেছে। বিএনপির লোকাল লিডাররা ভোট রিমোট সেন্টারগুলো ধামাউড়া, ওরাইলের, ধামাউড়া, ধোবাজাইল ওগুলোতে গিয়ে ভোট ছাপিয়েছে, রিগ করেছে, এবং তারা ফলাফল বিভিন্ন কেন্দ্রে আটকে রেখেছে। গতকালকে রাতে উচালিয়া পাড়ায় রাত 10:30 পর্যন্ত আমি কেন্দ্রের ভিতরে ঢুকে 5 বারের মতো ফল গণনা করতে বাধ্য করেছে, এবং দেখা গেছে এতগুলো ভুয়া ভোট, ভুয়া ব্যালট পেপারে তারা খেজুর গাছ মার্কায় দিয়ে এসছে। এবং তখন আমাকে তারা মারতে গিয়েছিল বিএনপির লোকজন। সেনাবাহিনী গিয়ে পরিস্থিতি নিয়ন্ত্রণে আনে।
প্রিয় এলাকাবাসী, লাইভটা শেয়ার করুন, লাইভ শেয়ার করুন। আমাদের দুইজনকে কপিয়েছে আদাকলা স্কুলে, আমি নিজে ক্যান্ডিডেট উপস্থিত, আমার দুইজনকে কোপানো হয়েছে। এই যে রক্তের দাগ দেখেন, এই দ্রুত লাইভটি শেয়ার করুন। জামালের এলাকা, এটা হচ্ছে বড় ইউনিয়ন। আমি সকাল থেকে বলছি এখানে ভোট কাটার জন্য ওরা বিভিন্ন সেন্টারে দৌড়াদৌড়ি করছে। আমি এখন সেনাবাহিনী কল করেছি। এই যে খাইরুল, খাইরুল পড়ে গেছে, ওর মাথায় বাড়ি খাইছে। এই যে ওর এখন ওরে তাড়াতাড়ি, এই যে দেখেন আমার খাইরুল আমার অসুস্থ হয়েছে, ওর পিছনে বাড়ি খাইছে সম্ভবত, ওইটাই বড় প্রবলেম। খাইরুল হককে, এই যে আমার খাইরুল, বিএনপির ছেলেরা আমার সাথে থাকা পিএস খাইরুলকে মাথায় বাড়ি দিয়েছে।
প্রশাসন অসম্ভব রকম বায়াসড ছিল আমাদের প্রতি, পদে পদে তারা থামানোর চেষ্টা করেছে, হেনস্থা করার চেষ্টা করেছে। ইভেন প্রশাসন আগের দিন, ভোটের আগের দিন চেয়ারম্যানদের ডেকে নিয়ে গিয়ে বলেছে যে আপনারা তো আমাদের লোক, আপনারা বুঝে ভোট দিবেন। সো এরকম দুষ্টামি প্রশাসন করেছে। এবং আমি বলবো যে এই যে পলিটিশিয়ানদের তাচ্ছিল্য করা, এটা হচ্ছে গত 15 বছরের সংস্কৃতি। কারণ প্রশাসনের উপর নির্ভর করে গত 15 বছর সরকার চলেছে। কোনো পলিটিশিয়ান নিজের জনপ্রিয়তায় জিতে আসতে পারে নাই। সো প্রশাসনের মজ্জায় ঢুকে গেছে যে দে আর অল ইন অল।
বিজয়ের উল্লাস চলতেছে দুবাই স্কুল।
কিন্তু একই সঙ্গে দলের 18 মাসের কার্যক্রমে আমরা দেখেছি কি করে মানুষের কাছ থেকে পয়সা আদায় করা যায়, কি করে জুলুম করা যায়, কি করে জমি দখল করা যায়, ব্যবসা দখল করা যায়, বালুর ব্যবসা করা যায়, কি করে দুর্নীতি করে পয়সা কামানো যায়, কি করে র্যানসেকিং করা যায়, তদবিরবাজি করা যায়, কি করে চাঁদাবাজি করা যায়। এখন আপনি কি বলতে চান আমি ওগুলোর সঙ্গী হব? তা তো নয় নিশ্চয়ই। সিম্পল, আমার রাজনীতি আমার, দলের রাজনীতি দলের।
বিএনপির সন্ত্রাস, বিএনপির সন্ত্রাস সকল।
আমাদের শখানিকের উপর এখানে গুরুতর আহত অবস্থা হসপিটালে ভর্তি আছে। 725টা বাড়িঘরে হামলা করছে, দোকানপাটে হামলা করছে প্রায় 2 থেকে 250। এরা এই যে নির্বাচন পূর্ববর্তী সময়ে এই ধরনের তাণ্ডব হাতিয়াতে কিংবা বাংলাদেশে কোথাও আর কখনো ঘটছে কিনা জানি না। আজকে আবার বিভিন্ন জায়গায় হামলা করতেছে যে বিএনপি ক্ষমতায় চলে আসছে, আমরা সব হামলা করবো। মানুষের বাড়ি ঘরে হামলা করতেছে, লোকজন উপর হামলা করতেছে। আজকেও 5-7 জন ভর্তি হয়েছে। আমি তারেক রহমান সাহেবকে ফোন দিছি, কিন্তু ফোনে পাইনি। আমি এটা ওনাকে জানাইতে চাই যে হাতিয়ারের তাণ্ডব লীলা বন্ধ হবে কিনা। আমি ঢাকায় গিয়ে ওনাকে জানাবো যে আপনার হাতিয়াতে আপনার লোকজন এই পরিমাণ তাণ্ডব চালাচ্ছে, এটা বন্ধ করবেন কিনা এবং এই ব্যাপারে আপনি কি অ্যাকশন নিচ্ছেন। এটা সরাসরি আমি এইভাবে, যেহেতু ওনার দল, আমি ওনার মাধ্যমে এটা ব্যবস্থা নিব। আমি কোনো আইনের কাছে প্রত্যেকটা বাড়িঘর ধরে ধরে কোথায় উঠান বৈঠক করেছি, কার বাড়িতে আমি খেয়েছি, সব জায়গায় হামলা করতেছে। মনে হয় যেন ক্রাম রাজত্ব শুরু হয়ে গেছে। এটা এবং আপনি দেখেছেন যে আমাদের 3-4 জন খুব মুমূর্ষু অবস্থায় আছে, এদেরকে এখন ঢাকায় পাঠাতে হচ্ছে। মানুষের কাছে আমি কৃতজ্ঞ, তারা এই তাণ্ডবের মধ্যে এরকম নির্বাচনে ভোট দিতে আসছে। এরকম ভয়াবহ পরিস্থিতিতে মানুষ ঘর থেকে বের হয়ে আসছে, যেখানে ইউজুয়ালি 65 থেকে 70% ভোট কালেক্ট হওয়ার কথা ছিল, কাস্ট হওয়ার কথা ছিল। সেখানে ভোটার কাস্ট হয়েছে মাত্র 47%, যেটা হাতের সর্বনিম্ন। তারপর আমরা প্রায় 30,000 ভোটে বিজয়ী হয়েছি। বাকি যে ভোটারগুলো আসতে পারে না, এগুলো ভীত হয়ে, ভয়ে, সন্তুষ্ট হয়ে প্রায় 20 থেকে 25% ভোটার আসতে পারে না, যেটা আসার কথা ছিল। তো এই ভোটারগুলোও আমাদেরকে ভোট দেওয়ার জন্যই সংকল্পবদ্ধ ছিল। এরা কিন্তু ভীত হয়ে আসতে পারে নাই। তো এই জায়গাগুলোতে মানুষ আমাদের উপর ভরসা রাখছে।
Now, the main element of it is the whole civil service, as I've been talking about all the time. The whole civil service, they have manipulated the election the way they wanted to, because they know If pro-July came to power, their livelihood will stop. They can't have multiple houses, they can't have cars, they can't go to overseas for holidays to send their kids for education. None of that. Everything would have stopped, right? So it's a status quo. They had to protect the mafia, they had to protect the gangsters, they had to protect the sandabazi, the political extortion. This is the way they make their living. Remember, all the political extortion, there's a hierarchy. From the guy in the ground is the starting point, then it goes to the police, then it goes to the legal system, all the way up to Tariq Rahman. He gets the part of it, right? So it's a mafia. It's a mafia, and it has won the election, and so it is in their interest to protect it, and it's a huge network. You cannot take it away from Bangladesh overnight. This is why there shouldn't have been an election in the first place, because there isn't a platform for an election, yeah, for a fair election. It's never going to be fair. Look, the kids from the NCP, they didn't have no money, and the other people have millions of dollars. The poured the night before, the poured, right? So you just look, there isn't a fair battleground. In the West, how we vote, look, nobody even goes to the street. Nobody knows there's voting taking place. People just vote, right? So of course, they have a different way of manipulation here. They manipulate the media. In Bangladesh, they of course own the media. The gangsters, they own the media. Kutta League used to own the media. Now the BNP mafia, BNP gangsters, Zalims, the Zalim number 2, they own the media, right? So they have got everything. They've got the whole civil service, they've got the media. But one thing was very positive for me, how good the army was. Yeah, that was really, really positive thing for me. And also another positive thing was the response towards the youth in the country. Yeah, the response was phenomenal. That shows the golden sun is already risen, right? Is on the horizon. So you can see what's coming, okay? So that's the positive for me. Army was a fantastic thing for me. They were excellent. They were very responsive. And look, what they were planning, the Kuttali was planning, yeah? None of that has happened, okay? So Army controlled it very well. And of course, to an element, of course, Tariq Rahman did a whole contract with India. So this is one of the reasons Kuttalik didn't even try. If they tried, they could have done some serious disturbance all over the country. Yeah, they could have rigged the election as well, but they didn't do it because that's BNP's strategy. Yeah, they shook the hands of the devil. So you've got two choices: you either kiss a frog, or you sleep with the devil. Yeah, so BNP decided to sleep with the devil, and they're going to pay heavy price for that. Be rest assured, they're going to pay a price for that, and BNP will be abolished from Bangladesh. It will be good. Awami League will come back, and they will eat BNP, whatever is left of it, and the rest of the BNP will merge into other political parties. Yeah, you will see. Yeah, so BNP will be gone as a political ideology, will be gone from Bangladesh completely. Okay, right. So just coming back to it, the election was very, very unfair. By this time, of course, you saw those videos, so you can see what I'm talking about. And there are, as I said, thousands of instances where how they have rigged pre-election. They were intimidating people so much, telling people if you go to the election booth, we'll beat you up. And then threatening, continuous threatening, abusing women. Yeah, the sisters could not even campaign. They were stopping the campaign. And remember, at the grassroots level, a lot of the villages, Jamaat doesn't even have a stall. Dysfunctional stall. Forget about NCP. NCP is non-existent. It's only Awami League and BNP. They have that village level activist. Yeah, all living by chanda and extortion. Yeah, and the whole system of corruption. So to fight an enemy of that sort, an evil of that sort, you have to have the similar kind of structure. Even Jamaat doesn't have it. Forget about the youth. Yeah, so how can you have an election in an old, fascist, evil system? Yeah, with a new, it's just it just doesn't blend. This is what's happened. It's all expected, right? But what I was hoping, and I think most of us was hoping, that the floodgate of the new generation, the support for them, that will be so overwhelming that even that grassroots will just collapse. Yeah, but of course it did not. It did in most of the cities. If you look at the city votes, yeah, you can see educated people with a little intellect. Yeah, they voted the right way. Yeah, and then that is of course positive. You could see like the margin was so much they could not do anything about them. Like take an instance from Hasnath's constituency. Yeah, they couldn't even rig it even if they wanted to. It was like a day and night, right? So they couldn't. Anywhere else there was a little competition. Anywhere, the marginal seats, they have taken all of it through fraud. Yeah, and you can see what they have done. For example, Mirza Abbas, that gangster, that thug, yeah, the murderous thug bank robber, yeah, he stole that constituency. He stole it. Yeah, his wife was intimidating. They counted the vote how many times? It was 6-7 times. Yeah, so election was completely rigged in a way that it was like engineering. They've engineered it pre-election. Yeah, immediate night before election, they were like spending billions, yeah, of dollars on the road. The money was flooding everywhere, right? They've been doing that. And the election day again, they were not allowing people to go to the voting booth because it's impossible for army to be getting involved with everything. Army was only getting involved where there was like a physical threat was so violent that was a risk to somebody's life. Only then. Apart from that, look, who wants to go to a place where you are intimidated? Nobody wants to do that. Yeah, nobody wants to do that. So this is what happened. Yeah, so they've done during the day they've done intimidation, and the real evil force was in action. Because remember, election commission is owned by BNP. The head of it is an appointee of the BNP. So their whole commission is pro BNP, right? How can you have a fair election? Of course you can't. So what they were doing, if you look throughout the night, what they've been doing, they've been holding back all the marginal seats. They're not declaring any of it. Counting, recounting, dodging the numbers, crossing the numbers. Basically, when there was a difference, it was marginal seats, few thousands, they will manufacture it, engineered it to just let them go towards BNP. That's what they have done. Yeah, that's what probably 100 seats. Yeah, 75 to 100 seats they have engineered. Yeah, and if you have that, you can see what you can do easily, isn't it? Yeah. So now, so it's based on all that. Yeah. Thousands, I say online there are thousands of evidences. Yeah, it's all on record, and I think if I was Jamaat, first thing I would do is create a database. Please give it to me. I will file a report internationally. Yeah, you should do that. You should just basically create a database, all your finding, and then openly disclose that information and submit to the UN, yeah, that this was not a fair election, yeah, and the international community needs to know that what they have done, yeah, okay, yes, if you compare to our past history, this is so much better election than everything else we had in the past, right? So in our pathetic standard, of course this was a measurably decent election. But it was not fair. It was not a fair election. Okay? Nobody wanted a fair election. The West did not want it. India, of course, did not want it. No, the outside forces wanted it. Nobody wanted an Islamic force to be in government. Nobody. Right? So that goes without saying. Everything was working against the pro-July movement. Okay? So the election was unfair, and I think that we need to document that. And Jamaat needs to take the initiative. I was asking for a data, just simple data of all the hundreds of women that were attacked. Yeah, and still today I couldn't have that data, that database. I couldn't see it anywhere. Right? So that's what I'm saying. The data collection, evidence gathering process, guys, you got to be very good at it. Look at India, they don't even have an evidence, the manufacture evidence, and they shift world opinion purely with fake news. You guys have real data, real information. Yeah? Where is the database? Give it to me. And I'll publish a paper. Yeah? Based on our publish it. Let the whole world know how they have rigged the election. Right? So this is very important. The conclusion is, of course, it was not fair. Okay, it was not fair. But say it was fair. Can I say hand on heart that pro-July movement would have won by a landslide? Oh, hell no, definitely not. I think the victory would have been very marginal, 5 to 10 seats, but pro-July movement would have won the election, yeah, by about 5 to very marginally, and they could have probably lost it as well marginally, yeah. There's chances of both, yeah, but it should have been a marginal election, because anybody with a device, with a phone, access to the internet, would have voted 9-1 towards pro-July movement. Yeah, they would definitely vote. And anybody, the illiterate, the poor, yeah, they don't care. Not they don't care. They care about how the next meal is going to come from. Yeah, not who's going to run the country. And we have so many people like that in the country. You can't really blame them. Yeah, you can't really blame them. Somebody give them 10,000 taka. Look, with that, the guy probably be sorted for a month, right? So, what is more important, his tummy or a vote, right? So again, I don't blame those people, right? So I think, say he was rigged like that. That's why, again, that population, the size of the population could be so significant. Yeah, you can buy them off. You can engineer it, because, and BNP Army, they've got PhD in it. They've been doing it for such a long time. Yeah, the election corruption, they've been doing it for such a long time. They know what to do. Yeah, how they themselves build a system. They know exactly what to do, and they have done it. Okay, so that's my first point. Yeah, yes, it was a rigged election, but what if it wasn't rigged? Would have been a landslide victory? No. Okay. So in that regard, as I said, I don't have fundamentally any problem, because in a way, a side of me thinks, you know what, the country is in such a bad shape. Yeah, such a bad shape. It would have been a disaster for Jamaat to be able to manage this. You know, for anybody, and look, Dr. Yunus couldn't do nothing. He spent nearly 2 years. He didn't achieve anything in the country. Yeah, and of course, look, he has got a lot of contact, he's a skillful man, and look, what did he do? Nothing. What could Jamaat do? Absolutely nothing. They will really struggle. It would have been a phenomenal task. So that way, if you look at it that way, you know what? As I said, Allah is the great planner. Yeah, everybody plans. He's the great planner. Yeah, Allahu khairul makirin. Right? He's the greatest of all planner. So he knows. Perhaps this is the best thing for pro-July movement. This probably is the best thing. Yeah, it gives them a time, some perspective in terms of our political landscape, how they can reshape it in the future. Perhaps that's the best thing, right? So I've addressed the first point. Now the second point I want to say, should there be an election? Of course not. Yeah, I think on the first point I've explained, we are nowhere ready for an election. Dr. Yunus could not do anything. None of the reforms, none of it. He couldn't do reforms. Yeah, that whole political landscape is so corrupt. Gangsters, mafia everywhere. People could intimidate people. It's just like there wasn't a level playing field at all. Yeah, so you cannot really have a fair election. That day you could say you have a fair election, where most people just can go to a booth, just to go, and nobody's there, nobody knows. In this country, nobody knows when the election even happens. It goes so quietly. People in fact go to work in the morning, yeah, and in the evening, either before they go to work, they just go to the booth, they just vote. And most people these days, they are voting through the ballot anyway, yeah? So ballot comes home, you post it, that's it. I've never gone to a booth in the last 10 years. It's always been postal vote, right? So it happens. Most of it, people don't even realize election has happened. Forget about everything else, yeah? Intimidation, and none of it is going to happen. But for that to happen, look, you need the basic reform so that these things can take place, yeah? And of course, it's in the interest of the mafia, the gangsters, the corrupt robbers, yeah? It's in their interest to make sure that these reforms never happen. Yeah, they will make sure it never happens, because then they can't destroy the country. Yeah, they can't deceive the people, right? So they will find a new way of doing it, but at least this way will stop. Okay, so most of us were arguing that there cannot be an election. Yeah, so there should have been a referendum. You do the referendum. You make sure you finish all the reforms. All the reforms are done 100%, and then if it takes 5 years, after that you do an election. Okay, that would have been the best thing to do. Did BNP allow it? They would never allow that. They knew they can never come to power. This is what they were forcing Dr. Yunus's hand, and Dr. Yunus was incompetent in a way. He couldn't do anything. So the question is, what was the point of having a government of Dr. Yunus? There was no point. So he's in a way is good. In a way good, a democratically elected, however it is, came to power. Now you can put pressure on the government, yeah, to do those reforms, right, in a different way. So and now it's different. So now nobody can say it's elected government. They're accountable, right? And you can expose them. And of course, we'll do our best to make sure every single gangsters, bank robbers are now 100% exposed, yeah. I know they control Bangladesh, they don't control us, yeah. We'll make sure we gather everything against these thugs, these gangsters, this mafia, and we'll expose them to the world, yeah. We'll make sure. We'll make their life hell, a living hell, yeah. They don't know what we can do, right? It's just like most of us, as I say, we're so busy with our own life, own business, we don't have the time. But I think we can't all be selfish. We have to make the time, yeah. This evil, you have to defeat this evil. You have to defeat this evil. So elections shouldn't have happened in the first place. Yeah, so that's my second point, because we were not ready for it, and I don't think we'll be ready for it another 5, even in 10 years. Depends on how slowly the reform goes. But I think because these thugs and mafia now in power, they will make sure there is no reform. They just will make sure there is no reform. So I think we'll address that in the later part of the discussion. So what is it that we're supposed to do now, right? So I have addressed 2 points. Now the third point, which I'm following on from the last one, what is it that we need to do? Okay. Now, as I said very beginning, so let's explore the first point. The first point is the country is so divided, yeah. It will not take a rocket scientist to start the next revolution, the next one, yeah. But this one is going to be really nasty. This one is, and to trigger it, as if India wants, they can do it tomorrow. I'm telling you, even India. Forget about us. We are patriots, yeah. It will be, as I say, child's play to create another revolution. It's not going to be difficult at all, because the anger is so much, so raw. It's not going to be very difficult to start a revolution. And for us, it's easy. All we have to do is shut down the money. If you shut down the money, the whole economy will collapse. Everything will collapse. That's it. Very simple. We don't have to be violent. We don't have to do anything. Just stop the money. Just stop the money. And we can do that. Very easily we can do that. That's a sad thing for Bangladesh. It's so dependent on us. Yeah? It's so dependent on the Prabashi remittance. Without it, the country is bankrupt. Yeah? And this is one of the truth that was exposed during Sheikh Hasina's last days. Yeah? You could see. We couldn't last for a month or two. The reserve was so low, and it's going to happen now. And the world economy is going to collapse in front of our eyes. You see, any time the war can start between in the Middle East, and that will destroy the energy prices, and Bangladesh, there will be a serious effect on Bangladesh economy. And then we can take the opportunity, just like the way what happened in Iran, it was manufactured by a currency. We can manufacture one, within couple of months, you can manufacture an event like that, Bangladesh will collapse. And it doesn't have anything like Iran, that resilience to be able to cope with it. And this time, the patriots are doing it. It's not the enemy, it's the patriots that are doing it. So it's going to be so easy to do a revolution and completely collapse Bangladesh. At this point, I think I should have Sabr. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal Asr. Innal insana la fi khusr. Innal ladhina amanu illa alladhina amanu wa amilu solihat wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Yeah, it's very important we do that, because remember, everything we do is for the pleasure of Allah. So when you're angry, you say the wrong things, you do the wrong things, sometime the evil takes over you. Remember, every single one of us have got evil in us. Yeah? And if we are the evil in us start winning, then we've lost everything. Yeah? We've lost our purpose. Yeah? Why do it? We do it for the pleasure of Allah, right? So we shouldn't do anything or say anything that will be for which we will be accountable. Okay, so this is why sabr is so important, right? So this is why I will say this revolution, yes, is possible, but so far I am not hearing anything like that from anybody. Yeah, yesterday I was very angry, I was thinking about it, but so far everybody has been very measured, because everybody loves their country. We don't, after what this country has gone through for such a long time, right, to inflict something else like that, it's going to be a disaster for the nation, right? None of us want it. I don't think anybody will want it, yeah? Because at the end of the day, if you set your own house on fire, what are you going to do? I mean, where are you going to live? Yeah? So this is like, of course, suicidal for the nation. We can't afford it. The devil we know is better than devil we don't know, right? So, a side of me thinks, what, wasn't it better before July? After I've seen the dark side of BNP, the darkest evil, these thugs, this bunch of monsters, yeah? Dark, they are awful people. And you compare them with our League. I'm thinking, well, they're too evil now. I start comparing it, But still, I think, what, this BNP, whatever it is a better evil. Yeah, it is a better one. If I have to make a choice, what, I will choose BNP over Kutta League. Yeah, I will choose, because whatever it is, even there is like the lowest of the low. I think Kutta League is lowest of the low. Yeah, and look what they have done to all the alims, what they have done. Would BNP do that? I don't think they will ever do that. Yeah, they wouldn't have hanged Maulana Saidi. Yeah, they wouldn't have done that. So I think it's definitely better of two evil. BNP is better of two evil, right? So yes, I think if you tell me, would I have it all? I'll say yeah. Have it all exactly the way it is. Yeah, I wouldn't go back to Kutta League days. Wouldn't do that. Yeah. So the question is, again, I've just explored the first option. So I don't think, it's not a practical one, and definitely not a desirable one. Okay. So then we come to the option 2. What's the option 2? The option 2 is you let BNP have enough rope so that it can hang itself. Yeah, because by its very nature, the nature of this evil, they will commit evil. Yeah, they will collect political extortion, they are samda, and they will harass people, intimidate people, do all the money laundering, all the gangsters, yeah, they will do that. They will rip the country. Yeah, they will now. I think they will be worse than Awami League in terms of destroying Bangladeshi economy. They will be worse than Awami League, right? So do you, the second choice, as I said, is quite a risky one. Do you allow them the space to rig the country? And they will just kick them out, just like the way they have kicked out Kurta League, yeah? That's the second option. It looks a tempting one, but I think again that is also very dangerous for the country because our economic state is so bad. We have to build the country. You cannot allow these gangsters to rob the country because they will rob 10 times more than our League. 10 times more because they're hungry. Look how much money they've spent. They have to have the return on that investment. They will totally bankrupt the country. Yeah. So again, I don't think this is a plausible choice. That's why I think, as I said right at the beginning, we come back to our third choice, the middle path. Yeah. The middle path, of course, is not an easy one. It's a very difficult one. It needs many people with courage, and there also comes the opportunity, in my view, for the youth, for the NCP. Yeah. So the saddest thing for me was Dr. Tasnim Zara and Shishi Munir. Yeah, these two people I thought would have been such a role model for Bangladeshi politics. They would have been so good. I am so happy. Hasnat was so bloody good. They could not stop him. Yeah, I was following him all night. In the middle of the night, he was looking for people who were handing out money in the middle of the night to rig his election. So he not only he was very popular, but he had no sense of a comfort zone. He didn't go to a comfort zone. And I wish every single candidate was like him. They would have won exactly like the way Hasnat won. If every single Jamaat and NCP candidate were as committed as him. Yeah? Because this is how you do politics. Yeah? And Tasnim Zara was very good as well, such a sweet girl. And again, I feel very sad. Yeah, I really wanted her to win because she would have been such an asset for our country, for our nation. And same with Shishi Munir, such a wonderful politician. Yeah, new style of politics which so desperately needs. And this is so sad thing about a nation, isn't it? You know, if you do not value your good people, the zalim, the monsters, the gangsters, the mafia, they will rule over you. Yeah, and those are people chose. It's just so sad. Yeah, so those two people I feel very, very sad about. So just coming back to my point about, I just got distracted a bit. One middle path is that you enable, strengthen the youth. Yeah. Who has the glimmer of hope, yeah, in them. So that's a positive thing. We've got elected quite a few young people. Now, I pray to Allah that they don't get corrupt, yeah. They don't get corrupt. If they got corrupt, that's it. We've got no hope whatsoever. Now, there will be a genuine, if they want to be good, there will be genuine threat for their life. They will kill them. They will try to kill them. Because remember, the mafia is so strong. This is why they had to kill Hadi. Yeah? They'll kill you. Because when you know you're gonna affect their money, affect their livelihood, they're gonna kill you. They will do everything. So of course you are risking your life, yeah, by talking against them, taking a chance against them. But if you don't, as I said, live like Hadi for a year, man. Live like him for a day. And you want more and more and more people like that, more young people. Because the media is totally corrupt. There is no media in Bangladesh. Every single young star, I want you to all become content creators. You all become journalists. You will start talking from your own space, right? You fill the void. People don't switch this TV station on, right? They will come to you for information. Every single one of you have got a mobile phone. Be the voice, yeah? You be the source of information, okay? If you want, let me know. I can create a platform. I will host it. So you guys just like think about an online a news website, yeah, where it will be open to everybody. You can, of course, there will be some basic guidelines whereby you cannot talk rubbish without evidence. You'll have basic evidence, and then you can write your articles. I'll publish them. Yeah, I could do that. The investment, whatever it takes, I can make that investment. Then I want the youth to get involved. Do your own journalism, create your own narrative. Yeah. So it's just like whole idea of empowerment of the youth. Yeah. Now if you did that, and your sole objective, that's the middle path is that your sole objective will be you make the life of these BNP gangsters a living hell. So your all objectives will be making the life of these BNP gangsters a living hell. You stop their sandabazi, yeah? You develop a platform, every single corruption is reported. As I said, I can facilitate, I can build the platform, yeah? We will raise awareness internationally, not just Bangladesh. Every single sandabazi can go international. Why Bangladesh? Yeah? We do it in a very structured way so that it's reputable. Yeah? It's reputable, it's evidence backed. Yeah? So we don't be a propagandist website. We just do it in a structured way. You expose them day and night. Day and night, their photos. You basically, how can I put it? Name and shame these monsters, this evil. Yeah? You name and shame them on a daily basis. And I'm telling you, it will stop. It will stop. The day that corruption stops, BNP will be gone. It will be history. Army League will be history. The new dawn of politics will begin. So that's the middle path, I will say. So all the decent people who have gone to parliament, you have to risk your life every day. You talk about the haq, yeah? You talk about the haq and you make sure no corruption takes place. As Patwari said, whether I win the election or I don't win the election, I will make sure that bank robber does not have any robbers, any terrorists left. And that's what, as a nation, we must do, no matter who is in power. Yes, you might risk your life, but that's the fight you have now. Yeah? And then we can create a foundation for future fair society and fair election. Okay? So that's the middle path. And I think that's the path we should choose. Zero compromise to corruption. Zero compromise to terrorism. All right? So that is my conclusion. And before I go, there's one quick thing I've noticed. In Hatia alone, they have attacked over 500 houses just before election. And now, even they could not beat Hanan Masood, the young chap. He won. After, he was so popular, they couldn't. They've tried everything. They have beaten them up so badly. Yeah? They have intimidated them so badly, attacked people's houses, threatened them. Still they couldn't do that. Yeah? So now, of course, the BNP is in power. They are now going around houses, attacking people. And I will say, wherever they remember armies is still on the road. Zero tolerance. If they beat one of them, you go on beat 10 of them. Get the army to do it, the police do it. If they don't do it, take the matters in your own hand. You have to do it because you cannot let this monster, this evil, to go on harass a single human being. You don't want that. You do not allow that. Yeah? If you let them do it, they will think they are somehow empowered to carry out their terrorism. I'm sorry, those days are over. You attack them. You attack them with force. Make sure when they come, they do not return with their hands and feet. You don't want them to return. All I'm saying, when you are faced with monster and evil, you can't be modest and defensive. Islam doesn't say that. Yeah? When you see an evil, when you smell an evil, you destroy that evil. You have to destroy it. Now, as I said, luckily we still got army in force, involve them, and I don't know, I think police is completely corrupt, but I'm sure there will be decent police officers. Yeah? You will know. So when you see, but you got to be organized to achieve the objective. When you see it's impossible to get a justice, then of course you have to take the matter in your own hand. So that these bastards, these monsters, they don't have the courage to even hurt one individual. Don't let them. Come on. They're gonna beat you anyway. So don't be defensive, be offensive. Have an offensive posture with an intention to defend yourself. So you don't want to be in a vulnerable position. You want to be in a position of significant influence whereby people will think 100 times before coming and attacking you. You don't want to make yourself vulnerable, guys. Don't do that. I'm telling you, to all the young people, there will be a lot of attack on you now. Because they think they have got some sort of power now. Destroy that mentality. You have to destroy it now. These thugs, these gangsters, remember they're pussies. Before July, where were they? These are pussies, they're little ants, insects. They're nothing. You slap them once, they wouldn't dare to come twice. But you have to be courageous, you have to be brave. Do not let this zalim, evil, to intimidate, to harass you in any way. You have to stand up. Remember, you are for haq. We are not evil. It's good, as I said. It's good against evil. These people are evil. You're fighting in evil. And you have to take that stance. There is no other way. Jazakallah khair for listening.